Welcome to iLights, a short recap of the lesson for the Sunday School adult class at First Baptist Church of Bridgeville. Today we'll summarize the lesson, Beginning of Freedom, from Exodus chapter 14. Sometimes we may find ourselves in seemingly impossible circumstances while seeking freedom. How can we safely reach freedom? God created a way out when there was no way. God sometimes grants us release from oppressive situations that do not bring Him glory. In today's lesson, we will see the Lord provide the children of Israel with deliverance over their enemies that could only come from His mighty hand. Prayerfully, this lesson will help us to describe how God made a way for the Israelites when there seemed to be none, appreciate the freedom we have in God's plan, and list ways to promote freedom for those who are oppressed. Today's key verse reads, "Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore." Exodus chapter 14, verse 30. The Red Sea is also known as the Reed Sea, Papyrus Lake, or Papyrus Marsh. It is a body of water between Africa and the Arabian Peninsula. With the final plague striking down all of the firstborn in the land of Egypt, with the exception of those covered by the blood of the Lamb, God forced Pharaoh's hand. As he promised, the children of Israel were released from captivity. The Israelites did not leave Egypt empty-handed, however. God gave them great favor, and they were able to plunder their captors and go out with much wealth. By the strength of God's hand, the Israelites were free. God led them on a roundabout route to their destination, for He knew that if they went through the way of the Philistines, they would return back to Egypt. God directed them into the wilderness toward the Red Sea and prepared them for battle. God warned Moses that he would harden Pharaoh's heart, which would cause him to come after them. However, what would seem to be impossible would be God's most brilliant display of His power. What a great assurance to know that God will fight for His people, but we must stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. When we are in the will of God, no force is too strong. Nothing is too hard for the Lord. One of the benefits of following God is that He involves people in His work. By using Moses to perform this miracle, the Lord shared His work with a human and showed His favor to the people and their prophet. Freedom is a gift from God, but often needs to be received. Sometimes to claim freedom, we have to realize that a history of slavery doesn't eliminate freedom in our future. It's tempting to resent why the victorious moments don't seem to outnumber the defeated ones, unless we remember God's original plan as contained in Genesis chapter 1 and 2, and which won't be fully redeemed until Revelation chapter 21 and 22. It's our challenge to maintain a reverent awe before the Lord in the down moments by recognizing that, whether or not a dramatic miracle occurs, we have the ultimate miracle coming on the last day that time even matters. God is faithful to His word. Through His great display of power, He delivered the children of Israel by His mighty hand. Imagine what our world would look like if we truly believed that God would do such a display today in our communities to deliver us from violence and oppression. God is no respecter of persons. He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He left this story as a testament of His greatness. Today, the Lord continues to prove He is the same God who shows us His care and mercy, including forms of deliverance beyond our imagination. Let's begin to seek the mind of the Lord and what He wants to do in and through us to impact our community for His glory. We've reached the end of this edition of iLights. If you had any questions about today's lesson, email us at fbcbsundayschool@gmail.com. If you're in the Bridgeville area, feel free to stop into our Sunday School adult class, Sundays at 9:30 a.m. I hope you enjoyed this edition of iLights, and you'll join us the next time, where we will learn from the topic, Beginning of the Tabernacle, from Exodus chapter 40. Until then, may the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. God bless. Thanks for listening. Take care. See you the next time on iLights.